Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain you a option buying strategy by using renko chart. Since it's a buying strategy, so it's a high risk, high reward strategy. The risk to reward ratio is 1:1, but you have the flexibility to change it as per your risk appetite. I have implemented this entire strategy by using Fire's API, but you can go for some any other broker too. 80% of the code remains the same. You just need to change the broker related code and you can use it on whichever broker you're comfortable with. Now, this entire code that I have used in this video, if you want to access this, I want you to go to the comment section. You'll find our WhatsApp number, WhatsApp link. Just click on the link or just DM us on WhatsApp. Let us know that you want the code for renko option buying strategy, and we will give the code for free to you. Okay. This is how the entire code looks like, right? And here you can see there are parameters like how much profit point you want, how much stop loss you want, what should be the brick size. So these are all the things which you have to change as per your understanding and as per your risk appetite and deploy the strategy. Now, once you get the code, I don't want you to directly deploy it in the live market. First, run it in the paper trading environment, run it for a few days, play with the parameters. Once you're confident with the strategy, then you can deploy it in the live market. Now, the capital required for this is also low because it's an option buying strategy. You can start with 20 to 30,000 and you can see how the strategy works. Now, I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm not saying that this strategy will work, but this is a good uh, place where you can learn how to implement a end-to-end option buying strategy from start to end, right? So now this entire video is divided into four parts. In the first part, I'm going to explain you what are renko, how do they work. In the second part, I will explain you about the strategy. So in this strategy, I'm using multiple indicators like Donchen channel and awesome oscillator. How I'm using it and how everything works is what I'm going to explain you in the second part. In the third part, I'm going to explain you how to use this code, because a lot of students, they come to me, they take the code and they still don't know how to use it. So I will spend like 5 to 10 minutes just to explain you how this entire code works. And in the last part, I'm going to explain you the entire code line by line. Okay, in detail, I'm going to explain you. So if you're someone who wants to design such type of strategy end to end, do watch this video till the end. You'll learn a lot. You'll understand how entire trading system is designed. Okay, so let's start with the first part, that is how renko works. Let's try to understand what renko charts are and how do they work. So this is the candle chart you can see in front of you. This is Bank Nifty index, and right now the time frame is 1 minute. Okay, so I just have to click on the candle and change this candle to renko, and this is how the renko chart will look like. Now in renko chart, the most important parameter is the brick size. How do you change the brick size? If you do a right click, if you click on setting, you will see the box size assignment method. So right now I've selected it to traditional. There are two options. One is traditional and one is ATR. When you click on traditional, you can give your own box size and the box size can be anything. And when you click on ATR, it will use the current ATR, whatever the current ATR is with 14 period, and it will use that number as the box size. Okay, so this is how you change your setting to from candle to renko, and this is how you can change the box size. Let's try to understand now. So I'll just change this to traditional, and right now the box size is 25 and I've clicked on OK, and this is how the chart looks like. Let me explain you how a candle chart is converted to a renko chart. Now remember that if I change the time frame, right now I'm on 1 minute time frame. If I change this to let's say 5 minute time frame, the chart will also change accordingly. If I change to 30 minute, again the chart will change. Okay, this is because when you are on a 1 minute time frame, like 1 minute candle time frame, it is using the closing price of the candle to calculate the renko. And when you move your time frame from 1 minute to 5 minute, it will use the closing price of the 5 minute. So it will look at that closing price and accordingly it will calculate the renko bricks. Okay, so let's try to understand how they are calculated. Now the biggest difference between candle and renko is the time frame. Okay, in candle chart you will see a candle at every timestamp. So if it's a 1 minute time, if the interval is 1 minute, so at every minute you'll see a candle. But in renko you will only see a brick. So in renko we call it a brick. You can also call it candle brick, whatever, but it's the right term to use is brick. So in renko chart you will only see a brick when there is a price movement, whereas in a candle chart you'll see a candle when there is a time movement, or you can say when the time moves. because every minute or every interval there will be a new candle. So let's take an example. Let's say you have a stock and its current price is 100. Okay, and brick size is 5 right now. So I've given 5 unit as the brick size. So what does this mean? And remember that the reference, this is my starting point. My starting point is 100. Whatever the starting point you will take, accordingly the chart will slightly change. Okay, slightly. I'll show you the what do I mean by this in few minutes. Now, if the price moves from 100 to 101, nothing will happen. If the price moves to 104, then also nothing will happen. Why? Because brick size is 5. So a new brick will only form if there is a price movement of at least 5 point, either in the upward direction or in the downward direction. If it moves to 106, you'll see a one positive brick. If it moves to 94, then you will see a negative brick. So there is a requirement of at least 5 point movement. So let's say at 10:15, there was a price movement of 6 point. So you will see a green brick. Okay. So the lower level will be 100 and the upper level will be 105. Okay. You will only see a green brick if there is a price movement of whatever the brick size is. Now let's say it took 1 hour and in 1 hour again there was a movement of 5 point. So right now we are on 11:15. So a next brick now at 11:15 the price has moved to 111. So you will see a new green brick now. The brick size will be same, but this level will be 110. So now we have three levels. One is 100, one is 105, one is 111. Now see the difference here. The difference is 1 hour. Now in 5 minutes itself, there was a major movement and the price has moved to, let's say, 116. So in 5 minutes, this is 5 minutes, this is 60 minutes. Okay, this is 11:20. At 11:20, price has moved to 106. So you'll see another brick, another green brick. So the price should be above what? It should be above 105. Only then you will see a green brick. So this is the difference. Okay, you will only see a brick if there is a price movement. I can show you. So here you can, right now, what is the brick size in this chart? The brick size is 25. And these are the 25 brick size brick that you can see. I'll just change the time frame to 30 minutes to 1 minute. And I'll show you. Now this brick, you look at the time. Here you can see the time. Okay. This is 11:58. The next brick is 12. The next brick is 12:16. Then 12:34. So the difference in the time is different. Okay. A new brick can form at any time. This is one of the most important thing that you should understand about renko. And this is what makes renko so different. It only creates a candle or it only creates a brick when there is a price movement. It doesn't care about the time. It might take 1 hour, it might take 1 day, it might take 1 year if you have a big brick size. So if you want to create a successful renko strategy, this brick size is the parameter that you need to think about. If you can come up with a good brick size, then you can make this strategy work. Otherwise your strategy will fail. Now right now we are at, let's say, 100 and, okay, wait, this is 105, 100 and this will be 115, not 105, my bad. So let's say the current price is 116 and from 116, let's say it has moved to 111 again. Okay, so from 116 it has moved to 111. Do you think anything will happen? No, because right now the price is between this, so nothing will happen. So the price should at least move below this level. Okay, even if it moves below this level, still I will not see any new candle because the price should breach this level. So if the current price from 116, if it moves to 104, okay, if there is a 10-point move, only then I'll see a negative brick. So this will be, this is green brick, this is red brick. And when will I see the red brick? When there is a price movement of 10 points. So from 116, so let's say here we have 116 and in 1 minute, okay, in 1 minute, so we have 11, 29, 21, price has moved to 104. So there is a 10-point movement. Only then you'll see a red brick. Okay, now when you will see a next red brick, you'll see a next red brick if the price moves to below 100. Let's say it has moved to 99. So you'll see another red brick. This will be, this level is what? This level is 100. Okay, and let's say it has moved below 100, that is 99. So this is how green bricks are formed and this is how red bricks are formed. Now we whatever candle size you choose, like if you choose 1 minute, it will look at the closing price of 1 minute. If you take 5 minutes, it will look at the closing price of 5 minutes, and accordingly the renko chart will change as per the time frame. Okay, now few more things that you should know. What is the closing price? So here, when you look at this green candle, what will be the closing price? The closing price of this candle will be 105. Okay, the closing price of this candle will be what? 110. Closing price of this candle will be 105. Now, what will be the closing price of this red candle? This red candle closing price will be 105 again. Okay, so from 115 closing price, it has moved to 105. And then the next closing price will be what? Next closing price will be 100. So this is how the closing price changes. So when it's a green brick, let's say this is a green brick. Okay, so what will be the open, high, low, close? Open will be this, high will be this, low will be this, and close will be this. So high and low will be same for a green brick, and open and low will be same for the green brick. But what if it's a red brick? If it's a red brick, this is my open. Okay, this is my high, and this is my low, and this is my close. So in case of a red brick, open and high will be same, and low and close will be same. Now, why am I telling you this? Because when we will look at the Python code, we are going to get the closing prices. So we have written a code to convert that closing prices to a open, high, low, close of a brick size, of a candle brick. Now, why do I do this? Because if you want to calculate any indicator, you might need like open, high, low, close. So even a renko can have a open, high, low, close, but this is how the open, high, low, close will look like. I'll just show you. Let's take a look at a green brick. So see here, you can see open, high, low, close. I want you to notice that when I hover on a green brick, my open and my high, sorry, my open and my low is same. You can see when it's a green brick, my open and low is same. I want you to notice that open and low is same. Okay. And my high and close is same. So when I am on a green brick, my high and my close is also same. But this changes when I am on a green brick. So when I'm on a green brick, my open and high is same. You can see here open and high. So when I'm on a green brick, open and high is same, low and close is same. So when you're on a red brick, the open, high, low is slightly different. When you're on a green brick, open, high, low is slightly different. So this is how renko chart works. Let's try to understand the strategy now. You can see right now I'm on Bank Nifty. So the date is 21st of Feb. Okay. First thing is you'll go to the candle and just change this to renko. Okay. This is the first step. Then we have to change the renko size, brick size. So click on setting, and here you will see the box size. So for simplicity purpose, I'm taking 50. Even if you divide 48,974 with 1000, you will get 48.9. If you approximate it, you will get 49. So either we'll take 49 or 50 as a brick size. So this is our brick size. Now, once you change the candle chart to renko chart and you have added the brick size, then you have to add two indicators. So click on this function and just search for Donchen channel. So this Donchen channel, what it will do, it will take the last 20 candles. So you can see the input is 20. So it will take the last 20 brick and it will calculate the high and low. Okay, so I'll show you one example. So here, from this point to this point, this was the high and this was the low. From this point to this point, this was the high and this was the low. So all it is doing, it is taking the high and low as the input. See, if I click on setting, the input is high and low. Like if you'll understand it in the code part, that the input it takes is high and low, and it gives me the upper, lower and basis. So I don't need this basis. I just need upper and lower. This is the first indicator you have to add. Then you have to add another indicator called awesome oscillator. So awesome oscillator tells us the momentum, in which direction the momentum is. If it is positive, it means it is in upward direction. If it is negative, it means it's in the downward direction. Okay, so I'll show you both the example, one for short and one for long. So at this point, you see this is the Donchen high, this is the Donchen low, and this is the brick size. So this brick has breached the upper high. Okay, so I'll just show you the theory for the strategy. So this is the theory. Chart type is traditional renko chart, and notice that my candle size is 1 minute. Okay, so this is a 1 minute strategy. Time frame is 1 minute. Brick size will be whatever the index value is divided by 1,000. So if you divide our bank nifty, let's say the bank nifty is 50,000. If you divide 50,000 with 1,000, you'll get 50 as a brick size. So this is our brick size. Indicator used is Donchen channel and awesome oscillator. Also, you can take whatever brick size you want. This is the default value, but if you want, you can have it as 100, 150, whatever you think is good enough. Now, what is a buy rule? So this is our buy condition. A buy is triggered. Now, when I say buy, I mean to say we will take the at the money call option. I will buy at the money call option. That's what I mean when I say long. So the renko close above the upper downtrend channel. So you can see this brick is closing above the downtrend channel. So this is my first condition satisfied. This is where my first condition is satisfied. And the other condition is of the given base plus half the brick size. Now this half the brick size, I call it buffer. Okay, you can change this buffer as per your requirement. The default value will be half of the brick size. So this is the first brick that breaches the upper level plus half the brick size. It means here, around here. I will draw a line for you. Let me just draw a horizontal line. So it will be somewhere around here. Okay, so first the brick should breach the upper level plus the current price should be above half of the brick size. So this half of the brick size, I call it buffer. Okay, so remember two parameters I have explained. One is the brick size and one is the buffer. So if you go to my code, you will see two parameters. One is the brick size and one is the buffer. So if you don't specify, if you write here 0, it will take the brick size at spot price divide by 1,000. And if you write buffer as 0, it will take half of the brick size. Okay, so this is where I'm going to go long. Long means I'm going to buy the call ATM call option. After going long, I'll have a fixed take profit and stop loss. Now this also you can give any value you want. Let's say the take profit is 100 point and stop loss is 100 point. So again, I have two variable. One is take profit and one is stop loss. So you can take profit as 100 point and stop loss as 100 point. Okay, so let me just add one more thing here, or I'll just add two more lines. Horizontal line. So if I go with 200, so each brick is 50 point. So 100 points will be around somewhere here. This will be my take profit. And I'll add another horizontal line. This will be my stop loss. Right? So this will be 200, this will be 100. So 100 is my take profit, 100 is my stop loss. So if the current price, so at this point I've taken the position, if it reaches here, this is where I'm going to close half of the position. Okay, so let me read the theory for you. So what is our buying condition? The renko class closes above the upper downtrend level plus half of the brick size, and the awesome oscillator should also be green. So at this point, you can see awesome oscillator is also green, right? So my buying condition is satisfied. Buy order placement, buy the nearest ATM option. Example, if bank nifty is this, we will buy this ATM option. What is the short rule? Short rule is similar. I'll show you example in few minutes, but there are three exit condition. First exit condition is partial exit, exit half of the quantity upon reaching the certain target. So this is my target one. This is the only target that I have. So if the current price reaches here, this is where I'll close half of the position. So minimum 2 lot I have to buy. I cannot run this strategy with a single lot. Minimum 2 lot I want, because I want to close half of the lot when the first take profit hits. So at this point, I'll close half of the take profit and I will change the stop loss from this to this level. Okay, I'll repeat. When the price reaches from this level to this level, that is when it reaches from 49,221 to 49,321, I'm going to close half of my position, half of the call position, and my stop loss will change from 49,119 to 49,221. Okay, so this will become my current price, this will become my stop price, and I have closed half of the position. And from this point onward, I'll keep doing the trailing. So as the price moves up, I'll also move the stop loss. Initially, the stop loss will be as it is. It won't be a trailing stop loss. Once I close half of the position, that is when I'll convert my stop loss to a trailing stop loss. Okay, that's what I've written here. Partial exit, exit half the position upon reaching a certain level. Trailing stop loss, exit the remaining quantity based on trailing stop loss. And there is one more condition, that is intraday exit. If the target reaches the stop loss or the trailing stop loss, or if it is not triggered, exit by 3:15. You can change this time as per your requirement. I'll just repeat again. So what is my entry condition? Entry condition is my renko brick should close above the high plus the buffer. Right now the buffer is half of the brick size. So this is where I'll enter. I'll have a fixed take profit and fixed stop loss. So take profit will be this, stop loss will be this. If my current price reaches the take profit, I'll close half of the position, and I'll change the stop loss. My stop loss will change from here to here. And as the price moves up, I'll keep the trail. I'll do the trailing. Okay. The stop loss will also move with the price. So when will we close this position then? If this is the case, so we will mostly close somewhere here. Okay, around this price we will close the position due to stop loss hit, trailing stop loss hit. Right? So we would have made some profit of 200, 300 point, I don't know, whatever. So this is one example of uh, long, okay, where I'm taking position in the call leg. Similarly, here we will have a put condition. So this is where the brick is breaching the lower Donchen level and plus half of the brick size. So at this point, I will go short. When I say short, I mean to say I will buy the put leg. Right, and then we'll have a take profit and a stop loss. So this will be my take profit, this will be stop loss. So at around this point I'm going to close half of the position and I'll keep doing the trailing, and I think at around this point we will close our entire position due to stop loss hit. Okay, so let me read it again. So there are three exit condition: partial exit, exit half the quantity upon reaching a certain target; trailing stop loss, exit the remaining quantity based on the trailing stop loss; exit last condition is we will exit our position at 315. Re-entry after TSL or SL hit. If I close my position due to stop loss or trailing stop loss, we will re-enter when any brick closes above or below the Donchen level. So if the same condition is satisfied again, so see here, I would have closed the position here. This closing is because of my trailing stop loss. But if, okay, now I have moved to the next day. If this would have happened in the single day, I would have re-entered here. But since the day has changed, so I won't be taking any more trade. On this day also we have only got like one short trade, but on some day you might get like more than one trade. Okay, like if market extremely moves up and extremely moves down, so you will at least take two trades in that situation. Otherwise we will only take one trade if the market is in one direction. Okay, so this is the re-entry configurable parameter. These are all the parameters that we can change. Now let me explain you how to use the code. You have understood the strategy now. Now if you scroll down, first you have to install all these packages. Now remember, in case of Jupyter Notebook, whenever you run this in the first in the morning, so you have to install this again and again. In Jupyter Notebook, it's not like you have installed it once and then you don't have to install it. You have to install each day again and again. This is not the case for a local computer. If you copy this entire code, paste it in your local computer, in your VS Code or somewhere, if you run the code, then you don't have to install every day. One downside of Jupyter or one downside of Google Colab is you have to install the packages every day. The first thing. Once you have installed it, I can show you how it looks like. When you run it for the first time, it will ask you to restart the terminal. So let's see. Then I have the parameter. I'll just explain you the parameter, how to change the parameter. This is where you have to change your client ID and secret key. Write your own client ID, secret key. Don't use mine. Then write your redirect URI. So my redirect URI is fesapro.com. In your case, it will be something else. Let me run it again. This might happen when you run it for the first time. So run it again. You can see it is installing. How to know? See, right now it is checking for this library. Then it is checking for this library. In few minutes, it will check for the next library. So if in the first time when you are executing the code, if it throws an error, don't worry, just run it again. Now it is installing setup tools. So let it run. Till then I'll explain you the other parameter. So the strategy name is renko option buying. Index name. Now if you want to run it in Bank Nifty, just change here to Nifty Bank. If you want to run it on Nifty 50, change this to Nifty 50. Exchange will be NSE and this will be the ticker. Now let's say you want to run this on some MCX contract, future contract. So just make a ticker variable and write your MCX contract here. So I'll just change this to March. And this is my MCX contract. You don't have to change these things. Just uncomment this, write this, and this strategy will run for crude oil March future. If you want to run it on Nifty 50, just write here Nifty 50. That's it. Now we have strike count. Strike count means how many far out of the money and in the money we want. You can keep it 10. No need to change this. Strike difference. See, if you take Nifty 50, strike difference is 50. That is the difference between two strike is 50. If you take Bank Nifty, the strike difference will be 100. Okay. Now, if you want to do paper trading, just write here paper. If you want to do live trading, just change this to live. Okay, this is the only thing you have to change if you want to do live trading. Exchange will be NSE, so our time zone will be Asia Kolkata. Now, why I have done this? Because Jupyter Notebook time zone I don't know. So if I specifically mention the time zone, so this strategy will run as per the Indian time zone. Start time, end time, you can keep your start time whatever you want. I'm keeping it 9:30. My end time will be 15:15. So I'll change this to 15:15. This will be my end time. Quantity, now make sure that you write the correct quantity. For each instrument, it is different. For Bank Nifty, it is different. For Nifty, it is different. And minimum 2 lot I want. Okay. So if I go for maybe MCX crude oil, so I have to write here 200. I think if I go for Nifty, Bank Nifty, it is 30, right? So I have to minimum go for 60 quantity, Bank Nifty. So make sure you write the correct quantity, at least 2 lots we want. Now trail point. Now what is this trail point? Trail point is the value which represent after how much point movement we want to trail. Okay, let's say the current price is 50,000. Okay, and our stop loss is 49,900. Now my trail point is 5. It means if the Bank Nifty moves by 5 point, I'll trail my stop by 5 point. If the Bank Nifty moves by 5 point, I'll trail the stop loss by 5 point. This is how I'm going to do the trailing. So at least 5 point movement I want. So this variable also you can keep it whatever you want, but 5 or 6 sounds like a good parameter. So if there is a 5 point move, then only we will trail, or you can also keep it 10. If there is a 10 point move, only then I will trail. Donchen channel, we are taking the input as 20. Brick size, okay. So I have explained you the brick size is the most important one. If you are not sure what to brick size, leave it 0. If you leave it 0, we will take the value whatever the spot price is, divide with 1000, or you can give your own value. You can, let's say you want brick size to be 100, so you can write here 100. Buffer, uh, if you write it 0, buffer will be whatever the brick size is divided by 2. In this case, it will be 50, or you can give your own buffer like 30. Okay, then take profit and stop loss point. So again, you can give whatever you want. If you are someone who want 2:1 risk ratio, risk reward ratio, so you can write take profit as maybe 200 and stop loss as 100. So this is 2:1 reward ratio. But remember, when the take profit reaches, I'm closing half of the position. So other half we will still gain more profit by doing the trailing stop loss, right? So this is how you need to change the parameters. And once if you can run this, I think this is done executing. I'll just clear all the output. Just click on clear all cell output. I think this is done. This is also done. Now I'll run this. This is also done. Once you execute all the code, this is where you'll find the uh, remaining code. If you click on show code, you'll see the entire code, right? This code, you can copy it in your computer and run it in your local system also. If you want to hide it, just click on hide. Now, when I run this, what will happen? It will ask me to enter access token. You see, it is asking me to write the URL. So just click on this link. Verify yourself. Once you verify yourself, you'll go to your redirect URL. In my case, it is fesapro.com. I'll just copy this and I will paste it here. Now, what will happen if I press enter? You will see when I press enter, it will create a new access.txt file here. See, if I press enter, I'll just press enter and it will create access.txt file. You can see access.txt file is created and the strategy started. So I executed the code. So when you execute it, you'll get some output like this. You can comment all the unnecessary part of the code. But if you scroll down, you will see the time being printed after every 12 seconds. I'm running my main strategy after 12 seconds. That's why you will see right now the time is here it is showing 15, 14, 50. If I scroll down, it is showing 15, 15. If I scroll down, it is showing 15, 28. If I scroll down, it is showing 15, 39. By looking at this number, by looking at this time, you'll come to know if the strategy is running or not. Okay. Once you are done running the strategy, once everything has happened, at the end, you can run this piece of code. This will show you list of all the trades executed. Okay. So I've executed in my local computer. You can see it has created this file called renko trades, renko option buying, and there is a date. So this is something I executed last to last day. So you can see the date 2025-12-19. So if you just run this piece of code, it will show you this data frame, or you can see this CSV file. Now let me go through the entire file and I'll show you how the trade looks like. So this strategy I executed on crude oil and the brick size was 3. Okay. So at exactly 12:11, my buying condition was satisfied. So I'm buying, and this was the at the money option for crude oil, and this was the price. Okay. And this was my stop price. This was my take profit. This was my spot price. So my spot price was 274 and my take profit is 279 and my stop price is 269. Okay, I think the brick size was 6, maybe 6 or 5. I don't remember. There was some brick size. If you just subtract this from this, you'll come to know. I think the brick size was 5. Okay, so brick size was 5. So accordingly, I have a take profit and the stop loss. This happened at 12:11. Now exactly at 12:31, I sold half of my position. So the price has moved from 274 to 280. That is, it has breached the take profit. When it breaches the take profit, I close half of the position, right? And then at 12:32, in 2 minutes, I have to trail again because the price has moved up by 3 point. So from 280, it has moved to 283. So my stop loss has changed. Stop loss was initially it was 274. Now it is 278. From 283, it has moved to 289. So my stop loss has also moved to 284. So see, we are just trailing. From 289, it has moved to 294. So again, I'm trailing. So my new stop loss is 289. And finally, at around 1341. So all this trailing happened around 12 to 1, 13. So at 1341, the price moved down and it breached my stop loss, which was 284, and we sold half of our position. So now my final quantity is 0. So I started with 60. I closed half of the position. I trailed it, and at around 1341, I closed the remaining half. And at 1350, again my buy condition was satisfied. Okay, so this is again call. So again the market is going up, so that's why I bought the call option. So after buying, so see, the spot price was 297. From 295 it moved to 310. So at 310 I closed half of the position, and then I trailed, and then again I sold the remaining position. So this is how the trade log looks like. I'll show you another day. So on this day, it was not a good day. So it continuously it has continuously done buy and sell again and again. So it made some losses. You can see I'm buying 60, 0, 60. Whenever you see 60, 0, right? It means I've bought and I've closed the entire position due to stop loss hit. So I bought it at this price. I closed at this price. I bought it at this price. I closed at this price. Then here I did some trailing, 30, 30, you can see. I did some trailing, and then again I sold. Again buy, again sold. Right? So you can see whenever you see 60, 0, it means I'm buying at full quantity. I'm closing the full quantity. Closing the full quantity means I've never reached the take profit point. So this is how the a trades file will look like. You will also see the log file. Okay, you will see a log file like this. If your strategy faces any error, this is where you have to look to understand the error. Now you can see at this point 12:11, my strategy tried to place an order, but the order didn't go through. Why? Because I don't have enough money in my account. So the error and all you will see in this file. You can see call buy condition satisfy for this option contract at this price. Call sell condition was satisfied for half quantity for this option contract at this price, but the order didn't go through. Why? Because I don't have enough money. So then you can see updating stop price. So current stop price was this, the new stop price is this. Then current stop price is this, new stop price is this. So anything related to strategy, if anything happens, it is being updated in your log file. So log file is important. This trade.csv file is also important to see all of your trade. And the most important file is this pickle file. Okay, each time when you execute the strategy, a new pickle file will be created. Even here, you will see there should be a pickle file. You see there is a pickle file here. You see this pickle file. If you want to run your strategy from scratch, you have to delete this pickle file. Because what happens when you run the strategy, your strategy stores some information as in what is a call contract, what is a put contract, what is the stop price, what is the take profit. All this information, it needs to save somewhere. So that somewhere is the pickle file. Pickle file acts like a database. So when you rerun the strategy without deleting the pickle file, it will continue from where it has left. So if I want to start from scratch, I have to make sure that I delete this file. Even if you do some small changes, even if I change the parameter, any of the parameter if you change, make sure you delete the pickle file. After deleting the pickle file, then you can start the strategy again. But if you don't want to start the strategy from scratch, then keep the pickle file and rerun it. So it will continue from where it has left. Let's say you have taken the position, you have taken the stop loss, first take profit has also breached. Now you need to trail. Now this trailing was being executed, but your code stopped for some reason. So you can run the code again, it will continue to trail. It will not take a new position, right? So this pickle file is quite important. I'll repeat, in this pickle file acts like a database. If you don't delete this file, if you run it, it will continue from where it has left. If you delete it and run it, then it will start the strategy from scratch. So this is how you have to use the code. Now we will move to the last part of our video where I'll explain you the entire code from start to end. Now let's try to understand the code now. So first we have the input parameter. So these are the parameters we have already discussed. Then we have the libraries. These are all the libraries that we need. Then we have this code. This code is used for SSL related error. Sometimes what happens when you have multiple Python, or when you install Python for the same time, and when you use the WebSocket code, in that case, it throws an error related to SSL certificate. If you write this, that error will go away. Otherwise, this code is not needed. Then I'm importing the logging library. I'm creating a log object here. So you can see this is the configuration for the log file. So I'm only going to store the info variable. This will be info information. This will be the name of the log file. First, there will be strategy name. Then it will be current date. So each day when you run this strategy for the first time, a new log file will be created. File mode is append because I want to keep the log that was written initially. I don't want to erase the entire log content. So that's why I've written file format as A. Sorry, file mode as A. Then file format is, first we will write the time and then we'll write the message. So I'll show you one sample log file. So this is how the log file will look like. You'll see the time and you will see the log information. Then we need to authenticate ourselves. So if this access.txt file exists, it's going to read the file. If the file doesn't exist, it's going to ask you to verify yourself. So now you see I don't have any access.txt file. When I run this for the first time, so it will take me to the browser. When you run it in the Google Colab, it will give you the link. Once you go to the link, you have to verify yourself. Now I have already verified myself, so it's not asking me to verify again. But when you're doing this for the first time in a day, so it will ask you to write your phone number, password, authenticator key. So these are all the things you have to write. Once you verify yourself, it will take you to the redirect URL. Just copy this link, the entire link you have to copy. Go to the terminal and paste it. Now, when you do this, what will happen? It is going to create an access file. So this is the file access 2025 to 21. So today's date is 21. That's why it's showing this date. Now in this file, what I have, this is the access token, right? And this access token remains valid for an entire day. You don't have to worry about it. So this entire code that I have written, this code will get the access token from the auth code. So let me just minimize this. Then I have created few objects like current time, start time, end time, and I'm printing the start time and end time. So if I run this, you can see start time, end time will be printed. You see this is the start time and this is the end time. After getting the start time, end time, I'm creating a fires object. So I'm just calling the fires model class to create an object. I'm specifying the access token and all. Once I have the object, now I need to fetch the option chain. So this is the type of dictionary that you have to create. So I've created a dictionary called data where I have specified the ticker name. So let me just check the ticker name one more time. So this is the current ticker name. I'll do one thing. I'll just comment this. Let's do this for Bank Nifty. So my index name is Bank Nifty, exchange is NSE, and this is the ticker name, that is exchange colon NSE colon Nifty Bank dash index. So here I am specifying the symbol name, strike count as in how far out of the money and in the money call and put you want. And then timestamp is empty. Then I'm calling this option chain function. This should give me the option chain. Whatever data I'm getting, from that data I'm getting the expiry. Okay, so I'll just print the expiry and show you. I'll write print expiry. Let's run the code. Hmm. You can see first it is printing the start time, end time. Then it is printing the current expiry. So the nearest expiry as of today is 27/02/2025. Okay, on 27 I have the nearest expiry. So today is Friday, so I think it is next Thursday. So for each instrument the expiry will be different. So how did I get the expiry? I'm using the option chain function. So in Fires they have an option chain function. In option chain they give you a list of all the expiries, and from that list I've got the nearest expiry. Now, after getting the nearest expiry, uh, I need to get the list of all the symbols, right? Like here, I have specified a argument called a value called strike count. Now, what the strike count represent? It represent that if I write 10, it means 10 out of the money call, 10 in the money call, 10 out of the money put, 10 in the money put. Total 40 contracts, uh, 40 contracts data I will be getting, right? So I want to get the name of all these contracts. So that's what I'm doing. I'm specifying the expiry and I'm converting this into a data frame. I'm converting the entire option chain to a data frame. I'll just show you how the option chain data frame looks like. So I'll write option chain. And from this option chain data frame, I'm getting the list of all the symbols. Okay. After getting the symbol, I'm getting the list of all the strikes and I'm calculating the strike difference. Because see, if you take Bank Nifty, the strike difference is 100. If you take Nifty, the strike difference is 50. So for each instrument, it is different. So instead of uh, manually typing it, I've written a small code which will calculate the strike price by looking at the option chain. So I'm also printing the strike difference. You can see right now strike difference is 100. I'll just run it again and show you the option chain also how it looks. So you can see this is how the option chain looks like. There should be a column where I have all the ticker name. So yeah, total how many contracts I have? Total 42 option contracts. Like all the contracts are 42. It also includes the index also. If you look at the first row, this is the index. The other contracts are option contract. Okay. So after getting the option contract, after getting the option chain, I'm getting the strike difference. After getting the strike difference, I'm also getting the spot price, whatever the current spot price is. Now, once I have the spot price, I'm going to fetch the last 5 days data. Okay, so you can see I've made two variable. One is F and one is P. P represent the current date. F represents subtracting 5 day from the current date. And I'm going to call the history function. So I'm basically calling 5 days historical data. And you can see the resolution is 1. It means I'm fetching 1 minute data. So whatever data I get, I'm just filtering the data. And after filtering the data, I'm getting what is the open price. What is the today's open price? Okay, and I'm printing today's open price. So let's see the output now. I'll just do one thing. I'll just comment the remaining code and I'll just show you till here. Let's run it. You can see first I'm getting the start time and time. Like before that, I'm getting the access token. Since the access file is available, it is reading the data from that access file. Then it is printing the start time and time. It is printing the current expiry, the nearest expiry. Then it is printing the option chain. Then it is printing the strike difference. Strike difference is 100. Current spot price is 49035 and the open price is 49127. So this is the price at which the market was open for Bank Nifty and this is the current price. Now, what if I change the instrument name? Okay, so instead of Nifty Bank, I'll write here Nifty 50. Okay, so accordingly, the other output will change. See, first I'm getting the start time and time remain the same. Now the expiry for Nifty 50 is 2702 20. I think it is the same. Then this is the option chain. This is the spot price, current spot price, and this is the open price. But you see the strike difference is different. Strike difference for Nifty is 50 and for Bank Nifty it is 100. So you just need to change the index name and accordingly you can run it on any instrument you want. You can also run it on MCX also. So you can see I have one example of crude oil, I have one example of natural gas. Just make sure that you write the right instrument name and accordingly the code should work. Now once you have all this information, now there were two parameters. If you remember, one was brick size and one is buffer. Brick size represents what should be the brick size of the Renko chart. So if my brick size is 0, that is you have not specified the brick size. So by default, the brick size will be whatever the open price is divided by 1000. So if I take an example of this Nifty 50, so right now Nifty 50 is 22,822. So if you divide it with 1000, I'll get 22.8. So 22.8 will be the brick size of this instrument. Right, so that's what I'm doing. This will be the default value if you don't specify any brick size. So if my brick size is 0, this will be the default value. And then we have a buffer. So if you have not specified any buffer, so whatever the brick size is, we'll divide it with 2. That will be our buffer. So there are two things. One is you specify your own brick size and buffer. If you don't specify anything, if you write there 0, we will go with the default value, and the default brick size is whatever the current price is open price is divided by 1000, and buffer is whatever the brick size is divided by 2. So that's how we calculate buffer and brick size. So if I run the code, you will see buffer and brick size both will be printed. So brick size is 3 and buffer is 1. Now I'm approximating it. Keep in mind here I am using the round function. That's why it is showing me this. Or let me just run it again. Let me take a look at the open price. So this was the open price 228 57. Now if you divide it with 1000, you'll get 22.8. When you approximate 22.8, you get 3. And what about buffer? Now buffer is, it is showing me 1, because if you divide 3 by 2 and if you approximate it, you'll get 1. What you can do, if you don't want that, then we can simply brick size divide by 2, or let it be. I think this should be fine. Okay. Now I'll just show you what happens when I take Nifty Bank. So I'll just change this to Nifty Bank. And if I run the code accordingly, the other things will also change. So this is my, wait, let me just check. I think I've specified something. Okay. So see, the problem is I've specified the brick size here. So let me change this to 0 and change this to 0. Now it will take the default value. So the default value for this will be, this is my open price. So my brick size is 49.13 and my buffer size is 24.565. And accordingly, if I change this to Nifty 50, this is my brick size and this is my buffer. So remember that if you don't if you write here 0, then it will calculate the default value. But if you specify some value, it will take those value. Okay. After calculating the brick size and the buffer, then I created two more functions. One function is fetch OHLC, which simply fetches the historical data, and one is candle renko refresh. Okay, so fetch OHLC we have already discussed it multiple times. It will just call the history function. It takes the interval and the duration. First is the ticker name. Second is interval, as in like what should be the time frame or resolution, 1 minute, 5 minute, whatever. Duration, as in like how many days worth of data you want, 1 day, 2 days, 5 days, and this will give you a data frame. Okay. So this code I've already discussed, so I'll not go in much detail. Then we have a very important function, which is the core of this entire strategy, which is candle renko refresh. I'll come to this function in few minutes. Okay, I'll just skip this for now. I have few more function which I want to discuss. Like there is a function called get OTM option. What this function will do, it will take the spot price, it will take the side as in call or put, and the point as in how much far out of the money you want. So if you write here 0, it will give you add the money. If you write points as 0, it means I want 0 point out of the money, 0 point in the money, which represents add the money, right? So I'm calling this get OTM option. I'm specifying the spot price, I've specified call, and I've written 0. So if you take the spot price, this will be my current call option and put option. So let me show you. If I run the code, right now the spot price is 22857. So if you go with this, the nearest call option will be 22800 and nearest put option will be 22800. So this will be my call and put option, right? So this is how we use this get OTM option to get the add the money call and add the money put. Now we are not only getting the option name, we are also getting the strike. So I'm also getting the strike, but I'm not saving it anywhere. Then I write a simple log that we have started the strategy. We are starting the strategy. Then I created three functions. One is called store, one is called load. Now what store function will do? It will simply store the strategy information into a pickle file. And what load function will do? It will simply load the data from that pickle file and bring it back into a Python file. Now, why am I doing this? Because sometime you run your strategy and in between the day, while running the strategy, for some reason you have to stop the code or the code stop by itself. So if that happens, you don't want to start the strategy again. You want to start from where you have left last time, right? So if you have already taken some position, you should know on which instrument I've taken the position, at what price I've taken, if there is any stop loss, if there is any take profit. All this information you need to retrieve if you are rerunning the code. I cannot get this information from the broker because this is strategy related information. So I'm using the store function to store the data, and each time when I run my code every 12 second or every 30 second, I'll again read the data from that pickle file. So pickle file acts like a database for me. Then I have created a function called take limit position. this function will simply take a limit order. Okay, you can see it is taking the ticker name, action as in buy or sell, quantity, how much quantity you want, and the limit price. So now even if you don't send this limit price, it's fine, because what I'm doing here, I'm just fetching the current price again. So whenever you call this take limit position, first thing I'll do is I'll fetch the current price. After fetching the current, like fetching the current price, as in I'm going to call the quote function. Now inside the quote function, I will get the ask price and the bid price. I'm adding ask plus bid and dividing it with 2 so that I can get the current price. And whatever the current price is, I'll place the limit order on that price. How do I know it's a limit order? Because the type is 1. If you refer to the documentation, version 3, if you go to order placement, you can see when the type is 1, it represent market order. When type is 2, it represent, when type is 1, it represent limit order. When type is 2, it represent market order. Now in this code, type is 1. It means it's a limit order. Let's say you want to place a market order. What you will do? You will just change this to 2 and you'll just remove this limit price to 0. Change this limit price to 0. Right now it is the limit price. You just have to change it to 0. So it's up to you. If you want to place a limit order, go with limit order. If you want to place a market order, go with the market order. So that's what this function is doing. Uh, then I have another important function which is called chase order. Now this function is related to this limit position. Now once you place a limit order, what might happen when you place the order and the current price, there might be some difference between them. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have placed a limit order at 100 and the market price is 103. Like the current price is 103. Now your order will not get filled until unless the current market price comes back to your limit price. Right? Now this involves the risk of uh, order not getting executed, right? Because I'm still waiting and the market keeps going up, so my order will never get executed. So in order to stop this problem, what I'm doing is I'm going to move my limit price toward the current market price. So if the current market price is 103, I'll move my 100 slowly to 103. When I say slowly, I mean to say by 10 paisa. So if it is 100, I'll move it to 101, then 102, then 103. And I'm going to do this every 5 seconds. So after every 5 seconds, I'm going to modify my order. If it is 100, change it to 101, 100.1. If it is 100.1, change it to 100.2 in the after next 5 seconds. Now what this will do, this will make sure that if there is a price difference between my limit price and the current price, so we will slowly and steadily come close and eventually my order will get filled. So the only purpose of this code is to get the fill. There is no other reason why I've written this code, because I've seen that a lot of time the order never gets filled. So I'll just go through the code so that you understand. So in order to implement this code, the important data that you want is the current order book. So it takes the order book as the input. After getting the order book, I check if the order book is empty or not. If there is no order, there is no point in running this code. So if I have something in the order book, only then I'll run. And then I'll also filter all the orders which are not filled yet. So you see, I'm shortlisting all the orders with the status equal to 6. Now, what is the status equal to 6? Again, you have to refer to the documentation. So if you go to appendix and if you scroll down, you will find a section where they have specified the different status. See, these are the order status. So if it is 1, it means it is cancelled. Now look at 6. If it is 6, it means it is pending. Pending means broker has accepted the order. Now it is just waiting for the price to get filled. The price will only get a fill when the current price and the limit price matches, right? So it's just waiting for that. So I'm going to shortlist all the orders who are in the status 6. It means they are in the pending state. Okay. After getting all the pending state order, I'm going to check. I'm going to get the name and I'm going to get the current price, the symbol name, because I might have orders on different instrument, right? So I will first get the name of that instrument. I'll get the current price of the instrument. Again, to get the current price, again, I'm using the quote function. So quote function gives me the current price. I'm going to use the bid and ask. If you want, you can change it to just using the ask or the bid, depending on the type of order you are placing. Once I have the name of the ticker and the current price of the ticker, I've written a simple code which is valid for the limit order. So you can see I've written for O1 square bracket type equal to 1. It means I'm going to only do this for the orders which are limit order. So if the current order is limit order, get the name, get the ID, get the limit price, get the quantity, get all the information. And if the current price is greater than the limit price, increase the limit price by 10 paisa, else decrease the limit price by 10 paisa. Once you do all this thing, you just need to call the modify order function. So what the modify order function will do, it will simply move your limit price toward the current price by 10 paisa every 5 seconds. Now I haven't written the code to run this every 5 seconds. That is what is coming in the next part. But yeah, this code I'm planning to run it every 5 seconds. You can also run it every 10 second or every 20 second, depending on how quickly you want the fill. Right. So now we will go to the last part where I have written a function called main strategy code. Inside the main strategy code, I've written a while loop, which will continuously run the code. I'm getting the current time, and at the end, I'm sleeping for 1 second. Now, this strategy that I've written will run after every 1 second only. Okay, it will not run within millisecond or microsecond. I've added a pause of 1 second. So for it will wait for 1 second, then run the code, wait for 1 second, and then run the code. Now, in an entire minute, I have three different code I've written. First, if the current time is greater than the end time plus 2 minutes. So if let's say your end time is 15:15 and you have reached 15:17. If that is the case, this code will be executed. And what do I have here? Okay, here I'm just calling the exit function. So exit function will simply exit the code. Then I've written another code to get the PNL and run this chase order function every 5 seconds. Remember this chase order function, which I've just explained. I want to run this every 5 seconds, right? So here I've written a simple condition that if my second is in range 0, 59, 5, it means we have created a list of 0, then 5, then 10, then 15, right? So if the current second is either 0, 5, 15, 10, 20, then I'm going to run this code. Now, what do I have in this code? First, I'm fetching the order book. Okay, I'm converting the order book to a data frame. Then I'm calling the chase order function. After calling the chase order function, I'm also fetching the position function, like getting the current position. And from the current position, I'm getting the current PNL. Two things I'm planning to do every 5 seconds. One is uh, doing that chasing order thing. And the second is getting the current PNL. Because when I run the strategy, I should know what is the current PNL of the strategy. So that's the reason I'm calling the position function, and from the position data that I'm getting, from that I'm getting the PNL information, right? So that's what I'm doing in this code. And in the last code, uh, I'm going to run this code every 12 seconds. Now this is something that depends on you. If you want to run this strategy every 10 seconds, you can change this to 10. This number, the here, see, here I've written 12, can change this to 10. If you want to run your strategy every 5 seconds, change it to 5. But remember, this is not a real time data strategy. Okay, I'm going to run this strategy only if a candle has formed, because I'm looking at the closing of the candle. I'm not concerned with the price every second. I'm only concerned with the price after every minute. So it doesn't matter how many times you run the code. For an entire minute, the code will give you the same output. Okay, so even if you run it like 2 times in a minute, even that is fine. So you just need to change this to 30. If I write here 30, what it means that after every 30 seconds, I have to run the code. So it will run twice in a minute. If I write 12, what it means? It means it is going to run for 5 times in a single minute. But for all the 5 times, nothing will change. All the 5 execution will give the same output. Why? Because the data that I'm feeding, that is candle data, will only change once a new candle has formed. Okay. So what do I do every 12 seconds? First, I fetch the historical data. So you can see I'm fetching 1 minute data for the last 6 days. I'm going to do this every 12 seconds. Once I have the data, I'm getting the closing price, whatever the closing price is. And once I have the closing price, uh, and then I'm calling this candle renko refresh function. Now this candle renko refresh function, I'm going to run every 12 seconds. Keep in mind, I'm running it every 12 seconds. And what does it require? This function, what does it require? It requires the name of the ticker and the historical data. When I say historical data, I mean to say candle data. This candle renko refresh function is going to take in the candle data, and in return, it is going to give me the renko information. So now let's go to this function, which is the most important function called candle renko refresh function. So this is that function. Now what am I doing here? It is taking the ticker name and it is taking the data. This data is historical data. Okay. Then I'm printing candle renko refresh. I am getting the renko df value. So here, this mpf.plot function is going to convert the candle data into renko data. Now, and that renko data I'm converting it into renko df variable, which is a data frame. So I can just show you how this data frame looks like. Like I think I'm saving it here. Yeah, this is how that renko data frame looks like. So here you will see the timestamp. Here you'll see the renko closing price. These are the renko closing price, and this is the renko size 3. Okay, and I have, yeah, these are the 3 columns that I get, which are quite important. Now, after getting the renko closing price, so I'm getting renko closing prices from the candle data, right? So that information I'm getting inside this renko df data frame. I created another function called count bricks. Now this is an optional code. If you want, you can remove this. What this code is doing, it is going to count how many bricks do we have at any instance. I'll show you an example. So if I go here, let's say I am on this brick right now, this brick. So at this brick, how many negative bricks do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So at this brick, the number will be 4. Let's say I'm on this brick right now. So when you are on this brick, how many positive bricks you have? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here the number of bricks will be 7. So I just have to count how many negative or positive bricks do I have at any instance. So this simple code is doing that. Like I've made a function called count brick, which will count how many bricks we have, and these count I'm saving it in the position underscore count column. So here I have a column called position count, which counts how many bricks we have. You can see I have 1 brick, 2 brick, then again we have -1 brick, -2 brick, 1, 2, 3, then -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -10. So right now it's going till -10, right? So this is how we are going to use this function to calculate how many positive or negative bricks we have. Now, once you have calculated this, I also need to calculate open, high, low, close, because renko also have open, high, low, close. See, if you go to see here, you can see we have the open, high, low, close. Whenever you're on any brick, it will show you what is open, high, low, close. So I wanted to calculate this from the closing prices, because that MPL finance library is giving me closing prices of the brick. So from the closing prices, I wanted to calculate this open, high, low, close, which is quite easy. So I've written this extra piece of code, which will simply calculate open, high, low, close uh, from the given closing price of brick size. And then I'm adding these data into the column open, high, low, close. So if I go to the data, you can see first I have the closing price. This renko bricks are the closing price. Then I have the renko size. Then I have position count. Then I have open, high, low, close. So I want you to take some time and compare these open, high, low closes with the open, high, low closes of the uh, chart that you're getting on the website. Most probably it will be same, like 90 to 95% of time of this 95% of the time it is same. In some cases you'll see the difference. That is because of the reference point. If you change the reference point, then accordingly the brick slightly changes, but most of the time it remains the same. Okay, after calculating open, high, low, close, now I need to calculate Donchan. Okay, Donchan channel, if you remember, this indicator requires high and low column. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what is Donchan, Donchan is a simple indicator which calculates the max and the low of the previous period. So if you take 20 days, it will see like in the last 20 days what is the high and what is the low, and it will give you two levels. So let me just add it here and show you. If I just add function, I'll write Donchan channel. Now I have taken the input is 20, so it will take the last 20 bricks and calculate the high and low. So for the last 20 brick here, high and low was this. Now that the price has moved down, so this is the low and this is the high. High is also changing. So this is how like the Donchan channel works. You can research more about it. Now I am calculating it by using the pandas TA library. So you can see I'm just calling ta.donchan, and this TA is the pandas TA library. It takes the high data and the low data. It takes the lower length and the higher length. So if I go at the top, you can see this is my Donchan lower, Donchan higher. Try to keep both of them as the same. If you want 20 period Donchan channel, just keep both of them as 20. So here my Donchan high and low is calculated, and I'm saving it in the two column called DC lower and DC upper. So if I go to my data, I have two more column after open, high, low, close. One is DC lower, one is DC higher, upper. So this is Donchan lower, this is Donchan upper. Now I also want to calculate awesome oscillator. So again, I'm using the pandas TA library to calculate awesome oscillator. I'm saving it in the awesome column. right? After doing all this thing, I'm just returning this renko data frame. So this entire data frame is returned by this candle renko refresh function. Now remember, the most important part is that this function I'm calling, like, it doesn't matter when you call, but this will only give you a different output once you feed a new candle to this. Now if I take 1 minute candle, so after a minute only I'll see a new candle, right? Until and unless a minute has passed, that candle has not formed. So in a single minute, no matter how many times you call, the output will remain the same. Why? Because the data that you're feeding is the same. The data will change once the minute has passed. Okay, once you go to the next minute, now you have a new candle. Now when you feed this new candle data into this function, only then you'll get a separate output. Okay, so I've told you in the beginning itself that this is not a strategy which requires real-time data of the spot. I just want the closing price of the spot. Now it can be beneficial to me, it can be risky for me at the same time. So we can go in any of the ways, right? So this is also a reason why this strategy is relatively simple, easy to implement. Here, if you see, I'm not using any WebSocket. Why I'm not using WebSocket? Because I don't need to fetch real-time data of all the tickers. I will just fetch it whenever it is required. That is after every minute, after every 20 second, after every 50 second, whatever feels convenient to me. So in this case, I'm going to call this candle renko refresh after every 12 second. That is 5 times it will be executed in a minute, but the data and the output will remain same in all the five API calls, or you can say in all the five function call, right? And you can see I'm saving it into the CSV file. If you want, you can comment this. If you want to see the data, uncomment this. Otherwise, comment this. Now, if the account type is paper, I'm going to call this paper order function. Else, I'm going to call this real order function. Now, these type of code, I only have to write it in the Indian market, because if you go for any international broker, there they have a feature of paper trading in the broker level itself. So on the broker side itself, if I change the setting to paper trading, I just have to write a single piece of code. But in Indian broker, I have seen they, for some reason, they don't provide paper trading environment. So that's why in my code itself, I have created two different functions. One is paper order and one is real order. Now both the code are exactly the same. The only difference is my paper order will not place a real order into the market, whereas my real order function will place an actual order onto the broker. That is the only difference. So I'll not explain you both the function. I'll only explain you one of the function, and you'll see you'll understand both, because everything is same. The only difference is here I will be making an actual function call. Which function call? There is only one function which takes the position, which is take limit position. Take limit position will take the position, and there is another function called exit position. So exit position function takes the name of the ticker and it will close the position for that particular ticker. Okay, so let's understand the code. So this is where our account type variable kicks in. So if my account type is paper, I'm going to run this code. Otherwise, I'm going to run this code. If my account type is paper, it means we are in the paper trading environment. First thing I will do is I'll check for the pickle file. Do I have the pickle file? If yes, I'll read the data from that pickle file. If no, I'll create my new data, fresh data. Okay, now how does this fresh data looks like? First, I'm going to create a data frame where I'll store all the trade information. Then I'll create a dictionary. Okay, so here I'm creating a dictionary, and these all information I'm storing in the dictionary. If you look at all the information, these are all the important information that I might require at the later part of our strategy, like the call name, the put name, the call flag, put flag. Remember, the call flag, put flag helps me to determine what is the status of that order, or what is the status of that instrument. Then brick size, then we have number of trades, then we have buffer, we have stop price, we have take profit, we have initial quantity, we have the current quantity, we have the entry price, we have the call entry price, we have the put entry price. So these are all the information that I need to store. So I have created a dictionary out of it. So when I store or retrieve the data from the pickle file, this is the data that I'm storing and retrieving. And where is everything stored? In a variable called paper info variable. The same type of variable I've created here. The variable name is real info variable. So there are two variables. One is paper info, one is real info. In paper info and real info, I'm storing the same data. The data doesn't change. Okay. Now let's understand the paper order function. Or I'll just explain you the real order function. That will be much easier to explain. Now just remember that in real order function, if you see I'm calling a function called take limit position. See, there is a function called exit position. There is a function called take limit position. This is the only two things that is added extra in the real order. Rest everything remains the same. You can just compare it. You'll come to know. Now let me explain you the last function of our strategy, which is the order function. So when will this function be executed? As per my code, this function, real order or the paper order function, should execute after every 12 seconds. Okay, so after every 12 seconds, I'm going to feed the spot price and the renko df. And renko df, remember, renko df remains the same for an entire minute. Renko df will not change its value until and unless a new candle has formed. So renko df remains the same, but the spot price will change. Every 12 seconds, the spot price will change. Okay, then I've created the global variable real info. I'm also getting the brick size, the buffer, the ticker, and the quantity. I'm getting the renko low, high, renko close from the renko df variable. I'm also getting the chain low, chain high, and the awesome oscillator value. So these are all the values that I'm reading from the renko df itself. Okay, and I'm also reading the call entry price and the put entry price. And I'm printing everything. So this code, if you want, you can remove it. It's just printing, nothing else. The first condition that I have written is if my current time is greater than if my current time is greater than the start time and less than the end time. And the second code I've written is if my current time is greater than end time. Okay, so this code will be executed if you are within the start and end time. This code will be executed if you have reached the end time. And at the end, I'm also written another thing which will simply store this data into our CSV file, the trade information. So this code will save the trade information into our CSV file. And at the end, what I'm doing, I'm just calling the store function. Remember, whenever I call this real order or the real order or the paper order function, I should always store the data to the pickle file, right? So every 12 seconds, I'm going to store this data. This 12, you can change it. If you want, you can change this to 30, you can change it to 15, whatever feels okay to you, right? Now, what to do if my current time is greater than end time? If my current time is greater than end time, then I have to check if I have the call position or not. And I also have to check for the put position. And remember that if my call flag is equal to 1, this represents that I have a call position. If my put flag is equal to 1, this represents that I have a put position. So if I have a call position, I'm going to get the current price. I'm going to get the call price, current price, like from the code function, I'm going to get the current price. I'll write this into our CSV file. And at the end, I'll just call the exit position function. So exit position function is an amazing function which just takes the name of the ticker and it closes the position for that ticker. The same thing I'll do for the put flag also. If my put flag is equal to 1, it means if I already have a put position, in that case, I'll close the put position. So I'm just calling the exit position function, and here I have to just send the put name. Okay. Also, I'm also writing the data to our CSV file, and I'm also keeping a log of it. So I'll just show you the log file. So if I go here, here I don't have an. Okay, I don't have any log. Otherwise, I would have shown you that when we reach the end time, this would have be executed. Okay, this is what we do when we reach the end time. So I'll just repeat again what we do when we reach the end time. We will check if I have a call position. If I have a call position, just close the call position. Look for put position. Do I have a put position? If yes, then close the put position. That's all I'll do when I reach the end time. Now, what if I am between the current time and the start time? Okay, this is where the actual code lies. So let's go through it one by one. So I'm going to fetch all the information from my database. That is the pickle file. So first I'll get the call name, I'll get the pull name, put name, I'll get the call flag, I'll get the put flag, I'll get the spot stop price, I'll get the spot profit price, I'll get the initial quantity, I'll get the current quantity. Now see, this strategy doesn't look at the option price. It only looks at the spot price. So that's why the stop loss and the take profit exist for the spot price. So that's why I've written two variable. One is spot stop price and one is spot profit price. Okay, then I have the initial quantity and current quantity. Why do I have two different variable? Because when I take a position, my initial and the current quantity will remain the same. When I close half of my position, in that case, my initial quantity and the current quantity will change. Initial quantity will be whatever quantity I have entered. Current quantity will be uh, whatever quantity I have closed, like whatever the current quantity is minus the closed quantity, that will be my current quantity. So this will change, both the values will change depending on where we are, in which stage we are in the strategy. If you are in the initial stage of entering, both remain the same. If you have closed half of the position, both of them will be different. Then I have few conditions. Okay, each and every condition is important. So let's go through it one by one. So first I have my call condition, call entry condition, and this is my put entry condition. So I can just write here, check call by condition. So what is my call by condition? My call by condition is that my chain high should be less than renko high. Okay, I'll just explain you quickly what was my entry condition. So I'll just add first. Okay, so right now this is bank nifty. This is nifty, right? So here I have, okay, let's take an example of nifty 50 itself. I need to add another indicator called awesome oscillator. So these two things are needed. Okay, so I would have taken a long at around this brick. Why? Because first it has breached the upper level, and my awesome oscillator is also positive. So what is this condition? This condition is that my closing price, this will be the closing price, is greater than the renko high, right? So you can see that's my first condition here. So right now we are talking about buy. So my renko high is greater than the chain high. My renko high is greater than the chain high. This is the first condition. And my call flag should be equal to 0. Call flag 0 means what? It means I have not taken any position. Put flag should also be 0 because I want to take one position at a time. I don't want to take position in both call and put at the same time. If I'm taking position in call, I'll not take position in put. If I'm taking position in put, I'll not take position in call. So that's why I've written a code to check for both the flag. And then spot price should be greater than renko high plus buffer. So here the first condition would be satisfied, and when the price reaches here, my second condition will be satisfied. When the closing price is greater than uh, high plus buffer, right? So spot price is greater than renko high plus buffer, and awesome oscillator should be greater than 0. This is my buy condition. Okay, what is my sell condition? It's opposite to that. So let's take an example here. So at this candle, at this break, my first condition will be satisfied. What is the first condition? That my closing price is less than the renko low. You can see my chain low, my renko low is less than the chain low. This is the first condition. And the second condition will be satisfied when the current price reaches half of the brick size around here. So you can see if my spot price is less than renko low minus buffer. This is my second condition. And I will also check for the flag. My call flag should be equal to 0, put flag should be equal to 0, and my awesome oscillator should be negative. So around here I would have taken the position, right? So these are all the conditions that I check for buying put leg. This was call leg, this was put leg. Now if I take a look inside the code, it's pretty straightforward. First I'm going to get the OTM option. At OTM option matlab, OTM option as in like I'm getting the ATM option, because the out of the money strike is 0. In short, I'm getting the ATM option. Once I get the ATM option name, I'm calling the quote function. Quote function will tell me what is the current price. So I'm getting the current price. After getting the current price, I'm calculating the profit price and the stop price. So what is my profit price? My profit price will be spot price plus take profit point. Spot, and my stop loss will be spot price minus stop loss point. So here right now, what is my take profit and stop loss? If you see, my take profit is 5 point, stop loss is 5 point. You can change this, like maybe you can keep it like maybe 30 point and 30 point. Now whatever your appetite is for the risk, whatever the risk to reward ratio you want, these two parameter you can change. You can keep take profit as 60 and you can keep stop loss as 20. This will be 1:3 risk reward. But I want to keep it simple. So this will be 30 and this will also be 30. Remember, the bigger the value you keep, the chances of that hitting is less. Okay. Like, I don't know, like I hope you understand this. I'm not going in much detail into this. Okay. So once I have the call price, I'm calculating the profit price spot profit price, and the spot stop price. I'll write all this information to our CSV file, and then I'll update my real info variable. What all things I'll update? I'll update the call name. I'll update the call flag. You can see I've changed the call flag to 1. I'll change the quantity. Initial quantity, current quantity remains the same. I'll change the stop price. I'll change the take profit price. I'll change the entry price. I'll change the call entry price. So everything I'll change. And then at the end, I'll just call the take limit position function. This function will simply place a limit order for the given call option. Right. If you take a look at the put by condition, I'm doing the same. I'm getting the put name by using the get OTM option function. I'm getting the current price. I'm calculating the profit price and the stop price. I'm updating the data frame. I'm updating the real info variable. And at the end, I'm calling the take limit position function. Both the function, my position is long. Here I'm going long on call. Here I'm going long on put. Okay. Now what to do if you already have the position? So this code and this code represent when to enter. Now this code and this code represent what to do once you have entered. So if my call flag is equal to 1, what it means? It means I have already entered the position. If you have already entered, first thing is you should get the current price. Get the current call price. If you have entered the put, get the current put price. And then check for 3 conditions. So here I have 3 conditions. This is my first condition, this is my second condition, this is my third condition. So first thing I will check is, has the spot price breached the stop price or not? So you can see if the spot price is less than the spot stop price, it means that our current spot has reached the stop price. So we have to close, right? So if this happens, I'm going to update the real info variable. I'll change the current quantity and initial quantity to 0. I'll change the stop price to 0. Everything will be 0. Okay. And I'll just call the exit position function. Exit position function will close the call leg. Why I'm closing? Because I have reached the stop price. That's why. If I have not reached the stop price, I need to check, have I reached the take profit? Right. So this is where I'm going to close half of my position. So if my spot price is greater than the profit price, and if the initial quantity and current quantity is 0. Okay. If this is the case, what I have to do? I have to close half of the position. So while updating the real info variable, you can see my current quantity is initial quantity divided by 2. My stop price will also change, because when I close the position for the first time, when I close half of the position, my stop price also changes. I'm going to change my stop price to the trailing stop price, right? So I have to update the stop price, and then I have to update the take profit also. Take profit will become 0. I've already closed half of the position. I've already achieved the take profit. Now the take profit will be 0. I'll write this information to our data frame. I'll log this information, and I'll also call the take limit position function, which will close half of the position. If let's say my quantity is 10, so it will close 5 quantity, and it will keep the other 5 open. Now, if this is not the case, if I have breached the take profit, then what to do? Now I have to trail the stop loss. Now, when should I trail the stop loss? Only if my initial quantity is not equal to current quantity. Think about it. If my current and initial quantity is same, it means what? It means I have not closed anything yet. If my current quantity and initial quantity is different, it means I have closed half of my position. And from this point onward, I have to trail the stop loss. Right? So this is the code to trail the stop loss. How to trail the stop loss? If my spot price is greater than spot stop price plus stop loss plus trail point. Okay. If this is the case, then only I'll trail the stop price. How to trail the stop price? It's very easy. You just have to calculate the new stop price, which is spot price minus the stop loss point. Right? This is how I'll calculate the new stop loss. So we will just trail. If let's say Bank Nifty is at 50,000 and 50,100 was the take profit. So once 50,000 reached to 50,100, we will close half of the position. And let's say the take profit and is 100. So now when it moves by 100, if it moves to 50,200, I'll change the stop loss to 50,100. If it moves to 50,300, I'll move it to 50,200. If it moves to 400, I'll move it to 300. So this is how we are going to trail. Okay. So when I trail, I don't have to take a position. I just need to update the stop loss, new stop price. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just updating, and I'm just writing this information into the trail variable. I'm updating the real info variable, and I'm logging this information to the log file. Okay. The exact same thing we do inside our code for put also. So first I'll get the current put price. Then I'll check if the spot price is greater than the stop price. If that is the case, we have to close everything. If my spot price is less than the stop profit price, and if the initial quantity is equal to the current quantity. Okay. If this is the case, what I'll do, I'll close half of the position. Right here, you can see my current quantity and initial quantity will change. Then the last condition is if my current and initial quantity is different, what to do? We just need to trail the stop loss. If you have noticed, like most of the code I repeat. Sometimes people think that you have to write the entire thing from scratch, but that's not the case. You just write a code and then you just repeat the same thing again and again. So that's it for the strategy. This is how you implement the entire code.